This is it. I have access to the full self-driving beta. Now this car will drive itself on city streets. So I actually just want to try a really practical example that perhaps will be feasible in the not so distant future. Grocery pickup. I've put in an order at Whole Foods. It's ready for pickup. You show up at the parking stall and then they bring it out to your car, and I just lift up in the trunk and they put it in there and I drive off. Theoretically, this car could drive itself there from my house to Whole Foods. They put in the groceries and then it drives itself back. We're just going to test the part of getting there, and then I'll manually park and put in the thing. But this is a curious, practical, real-world example that I would love to use. So let's do it. Okay, I'm parked really awkwardly here, but I'm just going to go right into it and see if it can make a left in this parking lot. Yeah, and then it's going to try to make a left turn into this big street. Okay, all right. It likes to creep forward in a situation like this for visibility, and I would say this is, okay. Oh, don't hit the median. Whoa, okay, you made the median. Woo! Okay, wow. Right off the bat, this is something to get used to. Okay, and now we're going right into a left turn in an intersection. Okay, all right. Whew. Okay, all right. It creeps forward and it finds a window in the traffic and makes a left turn, and it hopefully doesn't hit the curb. Whew. Okay, there's a lot to process here. Okay, so something that's pretty fantastic is the visualization is different now when you have the beta. You're seeing virtually everything that this car is seeing, and it sees a lot. It sees all the cars around, it recognizes people, garbage cans, dogs, bicyclists, and it's making a map of the world it sees in real time. All right, we're making a weird right turn into traffic that I can't see. It's creeping forward, it says, for visibility, and now it makes the right turn. All right, and now it has to get across 3 lanes of traffic, and it's just going for it. Okay, woo! It's showing me everything that it's doing, so I find it really fascinating. All right, you're doing weird things now. I didn't make the left turn. Oh, that's just too bad, isn't it? Okay, it's gonna have to reroute. Okay, overtaking, because that was awkward. That was a perfect example of what not to do in a or a perfect example of when this kind of fails, when it's embarrassing. So it was trying to go, it didn't quite make it through all the lanes of traffic to get into the left turning lane to make the left turn that it wanted to make. And so next thing I know, I'm in the middle of the intersection where I should be going straight, but it's trying to go left, and there's some cars behind me and in front of me thinking I'm doing weird things. That's when I overtake, or I take over the autopilot. Because it's embarrassing. It's like, yeah, I probably would have figured it out or rerouted or something, but it's thinking too hard and it's making some educated guesses and decisions, and nah. In my experience with the full self-driving beta, it's those moments when it's embarrassing is when I take over. So we're continuing our route. Like I said, this thing sees so much. It's seeing the entire intersection right here. It sees cars from every direction. It's as if it has like a drone or a helicopter, looking above and seeing everything. And then it maps that out. I can see the cars moving in the lanes behind me. That's something I just don't even see. So that gives me a little bit of trust or confidence in the system, because this is what it comes down to is, do I trust this? Would I use this comfortably? We'll answer that later. So I think it's quite fascinating. So it's gathering all this footage, and it's able to, from not just my Tesla, but so many other Teslas, millions and millions of miles, and it's able to analyze that footage and ferret out patterns, behaviors, what to do in certain situations. They run it through machine learning neural networks, and they find a new pattern and they refine it, and then all of a sudden they can ship it over the air update. And now I wake up and my car can do more things than it did the day before. It's kind of wild. This full self-driving capability is kind of where everything is leading to, but along the way we get a lot of cool different capabilities. And this is awkward. All right, you car totally failed that left turn. So it was it was jockeying with the oncoming car to make the left turn, but it didn't make it. That's too bad. I have made successful left turns in this car, but sometimes it doesn't always make them, and that's unfortunate. So let's give this a try again. We're back into it. So like I was saying, they can ship as more data is fed into their neural networks and their machine learning algorithms. Tesla can figure out, okay, this is what a human would do in this situation, using the cameras all around the vehicle because it sees in every direction. So in a lot of ways, it's safer or theoretically will be better at driving than a human once all these fine details are figured out. And that gets me to this other point. There are so many details and decisions you're making when you're driving that I haven't really been aware of until I realized that this car is making those decisions. It has to recognize what other cars are doing and what their intention is on the road and what their movements mean in relation to this car, my car. What does it do if it sees a person crossing the road? How does there's all these small details and large details that it has to figure out. You know, what's comfortable in terms of changing lanes in advance, how fast to go and how quickly to accelerate. I just find it really fascinating, and it has to kind of learn what the comfort level is of a human as well. Like, don't take a turn at 60 miles an hour. The car can do it. I don't like being in that car when it's doing that. There's some things like that it's still figuring out. So you see here this blue line that sticks out of the car and shoots down the road. This is where the car is intending to go. And what's cool about this blue line is it's always there. Even when autopilot's disengaged, it's then a gray line. But it's always there, and I can tell that it's making decisions of what it would do if it were in control. So if I'm just driving home or driving to another place in the town, I can see it trying to make the left turn or predicting that, oh, I'm turning right here. And then what's interesting is I then do that action, and now this car has data on, okay, this is what I was going to do, this is what the human did, and then it can see how that matches up or how it didn't match up. That's extremely valuable data that the machine learning algorithms, the software engineers can work on or work with to make this a safer car, a better self-driving car. And in the least, you know, more aware of what's happening on the road, even if I'm the one driving it. So these are these parts of a Tesla that I feel like are just really high value for what you're getting in terms of this is an extremely safe car. Oh, that was a really good example. So that was an ambulance, and this car did not yield at all. Didn't do a single thing. So I'm glad that was on camera, because that is something that I would have liked the car to have reacted to. And I didn't know how it would react to that. That was really cool. I can just take over full self-driving, by the way, just pulling out, just putting my hands on the wheel and pulling out of it, or I can disengage it with this stock here. All right, we're making left turn. This car's making left turn. That was awkward. That was super awkward. We're both trying to, the car in front of me is making left turn to the same, or right turn to the same road. I'm turning left into it. Tesla doesn't care, just went right for it. Again, small details. It has to figure out how to manage, it sees a car with a turn signal on and an intention to turn, and it's into the path that you're on, right? These are all things that it needs to be able to read. Or like, if they scoot forward a little bit, what does that mean? We're able to read that. We instantly process that with our superhuman or supercomputer brains. Okay, we're coming up for right turn. Please just go. Oh, all right, didn't go. There's a car coming. That was good. That's what I would want to happen. All right, no cars. I'm actually press on the gas pedal a little bit, because you can actually kind of force it to move forward and be less slow at life. So that's cool. Wow, all right, so we're coming up here to the Whole Foods here soon, and if everything works according to plan, it will turn into the parking lot and start driving around in the parking lot to the final point. It won't get to the parking stall for grocery pickup. That's the next piece of this puzzle that needs to be solved, that for, like I said, for practical use, my car could go pick up groceries for me, or pick up other things, or drive other people, you know. Once that's enabled and reliable and trustworthy, that's really cool. So here's some cool things. The car is seeing this person right here and seeing cars coming this way, and they're marked in blue. And I've been trying to figure out what the blue means. It only showed up in this beta. I haven't seen it in any other versions of this, and I think it means like it's watching out for those cars and trying to find a way to get in there. All right, this is interesting. It's turning into the parking lot, and there's a car coming out, and it takes that thing. Oh gosh, you took that hard. That's where I would have loved this thing to turn a little nicer into it. All right, I'm going to take over. It did it. It turned into the parking lot. Oh. Are you waiting for Jackie?
Yes.
That's me.
You could just pull up on the curb.
All right, I'll just pull right here.
Yep.
All right, someone took my spot, so I couldn't actually hold there. So I'm just gonna hold here. Open the trunk, and there we go. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. May I ask what you're recording?
My car is full self-driving right now.
Oh, cool.
So I've been testing what it's like to, you know, have a car drive itself.
Very cool.
It's because maybe one day the car could go pick up my groceries for me and drive back home. You know, you never know.
Like without you in it?
Yeah.
What?
Theoretically.
That's insane.
That's kind of the idea.
Cool. All right, you're all set.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. All right, I got the groceries, and now I can head on back home. So this is where, so to evaluate this experience, clearly it's not ready to do this. I would even wager say not even close. But in certain scenarios, it does really well, this full self-driving thing. So there's that bit. And then secondly, do I trust it? Am I comfortable doing it? I think I would be able to trust this sooner than I would be comfortable with it. I wouldn't use this in a comfortably. This just is just kind of intense to be in as a passenger, and let alone to let this go drive itself without me in it, making decisions, potentially getting into awkward scenarios. So these are all that, yeah. So that was interesting. Now that I've tried that, I can kind of get a bearing for where this is at in the world, what stage that this full self-driving is at, and I look forward to it getting better. Hopefully Tesla can learn from the data that my car just generated, and hopefully it learns how to dodge ambulances. That would be really important. All right, there it is. That's what it's like to be in a full self-driving car. It just made a right turn. It's driving home now.